All right, perfect. Well, welcome. I'm pretty sure that we are in week number 7 of this Focus Forward series, and I really hope that you guys have been enjoying it, that you have been benefiting from the information, and most of all, I really hope that you've been implementing what you have been learning in your business. That is our biggest hope for you, is to not only teach you the ins and the outs of this business, but for you to take that leap of faith, that moment of courage, confidence, bravery to do something again, do something new, do something different, do something of the and then some that really takes your business to the next level. And we're over halfway through our series, which is perfect. We still have plenty of really good meat and potatoes to share with you guys. But as a recap of kind of where we are in this is last week, we talked about really the structure and the outline of how to execute your facial or your party. Okay. And Reagan and Tanya, I know, did a fantastic job walking you guys through, like, what do you say at the beginning and what do you say in the middle? And what we call those pieces of the party is the open of the party and the body, right? So if you remember the open of the party, and I just wanted to, again, to recap this just a little bit before I get some aha moments, and especially because I wasn't on last week. So I get to put 30 seconds of my 2 cents into this. In my opinion, the open of your party has some extremely important parts of it. And Reagan talked about the I story. And I know that both Reagan and Tanya went over the different pieces of, like, what you say in the beginning, and everybody is going to be different, you guys. I think that you've noticed at this point that even the 3 of us directors, we're different. We have different strengths, different personalities, different ways of saying things. And I want that to bring you comfort in knowing that you can be you in this process. You have your own personality, your own strengths, your own story, things that you want to share, reasons why you love this company, reasons why you love this product, things that are your favorites. So when it comes to the structuring of your facial or your party, I want to give you the confidence to know that what we are giving you is the basic outline of kind of what should happen during the party. And we're giving you examples of some things that we say personally. But if you can follow the overall structure of covering points 1, 2, 3, 4, or however many points you have in the open, and then when you get to the body of your appointment, and that's where you show the products and let them try it. If you're covering 1, 2, 3, 4, like, yours is going to start to mold to your personality and to the way that you do it. So I hope that gives you confidence to know that you don't have to be an exact duplication of what you hear during this, but to understand that take those important pieces of why we include what we include and practice and practice and practice. Because in this skill set of our business of executing a facial, a party, and doing all of these pieces of it, you can watch these recordings over and over and over. You can watch people do it. You can listen to it. You can read my word for word skincare class outline. You can prepare as much as possible, but until you are in front of people and you're doing it over and over and over, that's where it becomes a really great skill. And it's never perfect in the beginning. And I will guarantee that years and years down the road, it's still not going to be perfect. There are still things that you might accidentally forget. You might do it out of order. It might just flow in a different way. And so you have to give yourself grace to understand that, number one, my hope for you in this part is please practice. Find those faces, schedule those faces. Do not wait until you think you have a memorized perfect presentation before you start holding appointments. Please do not do that, okay? If you need to work off of notes, do that. But the open is really important because you are creating that connection. You are introducing yourself to the people that you are across from. And people who feel connected and to their beauty consultant, that is like really important. Honestly, the least important part of your facial or your party is where they're actually trying the products, believe it or not, right? they're probably stopped listening. If you don't remember what to say about the products, great. You know, they're trying it. It's great. But the reason I say that is the next part that we're going to go over tonight, and I'm going to get you guys as aha moments before we get into that, is how to close your parties. Okay. This skill of your parties even outweighs the importance of the two things that were taught last week, in my opinion. Why? Because this is where you accomplish everything. This is where you tie a bow on it. This is where you get everything from a business standpoint out of your appointments that you want. So this also takes practice and just doing it over and over and over, but it is simple. And we hope that, you know, that you can watch this several times and really use the resources. And again, go out and do it over and over again. So before we get into that, the two parts of the close, I really would love to know, based on, you know, what you've been doing in your business the last few weeks and what we've been teaching the last few weeks, has anybody had some really great aha moments or, you know, things that have happened that you're like, wow, that was really cool? That you would love to share with both those of us that are live and those of us that are watching the recording. And if you do have something, then feel free to unmute. We'd love to hear your triumphs for the last week or so. I'm going to give everybody a good opportunity. Okay, go ahead, Anita. I'll let you unmute.
Okay, so I went to our in-person, and I know I listen to you all the time. I listen, and I see you do it, and I see you do it, and I see you do it. But then when you're actually doing it, you blank out and you don't know what the questions are. So like you said, unless you're doing it, unless you're practicing, you don't know how to say it. So when we were trying to do the questions for the foundation, I was having troubles.
And you've heard it, and you know what? And just to give you kudos, Anita, you and Jasmine did a fabulous job. You stepped in, you did it anyway. You forgot the question number one, and I reminded you, and you're like, oh yeah, and then you went to the next one, then you went to the next one. You guys, that is the beauty of this journey. Okay. Yeah. You know, if you continue to be too scared to do that, and you were not, Anita, you were just like, oh yeah, I don't remember that one. Okay, yeah, we do this. And Jasmine had no idea what she was doing because she's brand new, and you guys were just tag teaming it and having a great time. And I love seeing that, you guys. So after that whole process, Anita, did you have a little boost in confidence that, oh, that was such a great reminder? And for me to do it myself, that was important.
Yes, and then what to brush up on. Then like, I know Tanya had told me also to get a notebook and brush up on another, you know, get things to brush up on. So, and yes, Jasmine is fantastic. She did great. So yeah, Jasmine did great. So good job, Jasmine.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for sharing, Anita. Any other moments that anybody wants to share? Learning.
I'll share.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
My voice back, so I feel much better. I had a wonderful experience. An older woman in our community, her daughter contacted me and said, you know, Mom, we're putting Mom into assisted living. Will you go in and just kind of do a makeover? And so I said, sure. And so I went in and I spent some time with her and we did the whole procedure. I washed her face. She washed her face. I helped her, got her into a moisturizer. But then it was when she did the foundation. And I brought my brush and she put the foundation on. And it was a perfect match for her. And the lipstick was a little crumb. I can't think of the name of it right now, but then she put the lipstick on. And I said, Ev, I got to take a picture and send it to your daughter and your brother, John. And so I said, oh my goodness, she got the pose. But you know, the look on her face, because she felt beautiful. She felt so good, and she's struggling with memory loss. But that moment, that 15, 20 minutes I had with her, might have been even closer to half an hour, she was at such a place, and I left, and I just stepped from outside, and I'm like, okay, this is what it's all about. This is the joy that this company and this whole process. So Anita, I loved what you said. I loved what you said. You know what? So what? So what if you forgot? But you had a moment with that person that you were with, and with Jasmine. You guys had moments that you'll never forget. And the people you were with will never forget. And you changed their life that day. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that you changed a woman's life that day.
As did you, Kathy, and thank you so much for sharing that. And what I love that's really going to be important as we go into, and Joyce, I'm going to get to you next, that's going to be going into tonight's training, because we're talking about the business side of things. We're talking about the selling side of things. And I think that some of us can get a little bit intimidated by the fact that we are in sales, right? Like that's what we do, but we don't want to come across that way. And as you are executing things the way we teach you to, you never are. But Kathy, exactly what you said is the true reason why we do what we do. It's for moments like that are moments, the paycheck of the heart, that it's like, if nothing else happens in your appointments and your selling portion of it all falls apart, how wonderful is it to have those moments and those feelings and make women feel beautiful and see that glow? That, you guys, is so important. However, along the way, we probably want to sell a couple things. So we're going to teach that too, right? Which is perfect. So thank you for sharing, Kathy. And Joyce, you were unmuted. Did you have something to add?
Yes, part of the training last week where you talk about the I story, and I think, at least for me, maybe not for you guys, but getting started. It's like, you pack everything, you're there, you get everything set up, people are starting to come, and you have to get things started. I mean, that's what you're there for. You're the one who starts it. But that was always a part, like, come on, guys, let's get together, whatever. But when you said you started, instead of talking about yourself, you went around and you asked them, who are you? What's your name? What do you do? What's something you really like? What is one nice thing you really like about your hostess? And okay, right off the bat, I'm already relaxed now, because okay, when I do start to speak about me, they're still thinking about what they heard other people say. So they're not like totally focused on me, which takes a little bit of pressure off. You can kind of relax, and it's like getting a ball rolling. I mean, as the more and more there's interaction, the faster everything starts to go. And all of a sudden, you're in the middle of putting moisturizer on, and you don't even remember how you got there. You just got there. And that made it a lot easier for me doing my skincare class. Not having to worry about, okay, it's not really about me, it's about you. This is all about you.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I appreciate that part of the training.
Exactly. Which is so perfect. And I know that's exactly how Tanya does it, and how she teaches it. And again, this, to my point, as long as we hit all the points of what we should be doing to the best of our ability, the way that it flows is going to go naturally with the way that it works. And it might not even be the same from appointment to appointment. But Joyce, what all you did was shift the way that the order as to you want to get to know them. Therefore, the polite thing is for them to get to know you, instead of the other way around, where you feel like maybe if I start with talking about me, that seems a little bit like, and other people would welcome everybody and go straight into that without a hitch, right? And so the way that your directors that are teaching this do things just slightly differently with accomplishing the same goal can be so helpful for all of us. That does not mean if it's working for you, change it just because Tanya said that.
No.
And you're doing it this way, and I know you know that, but to everybody else listening, If it's not broken, don't fix it. But if you hear something that you're like, oh, that makes me feel so much more comfortable, that gives me so much more control over getting started and getting people around the table, that's what we're here to do for you, is to perfect those moments. So thank you for sharing that. And we hope that you put that to practice and that you see how that goes. And we'd love to hear in a few weeks all the times that you were able to kind of do that for yourself. So thank you. Okay, well, unless anybody has something burning that they would love to share, I don't want to leave anybody out. We will get started just so that we have plenty of time for our fabulous training tonight. Am I leaving anybody out of their wonderful moments? I love hearing about these moments. So this is something that I don't want to just gloss over. Okay, I think we're ready though. So I mentioned that the closing of your party comes in 2 parts, okay? The first part Tanya is going to teach you, and it is what I highly recommend you guys take notes, okay? You will have some resources, but there a lot is going to be said as far as little tiny tips during this that you may know or you may want to write down. So the first part of the close is called the table close. So remember, as we go through the outline of your party, they just finished putting on the last product, like the actual trying of the products has come to a close. And what do we do now? Tanya's going to teach what you do while you're still at the table. I'm going to teach how you interact with each individual guest to accomplish everything that you need to at the end. So I'm going to spotlight Tanya, and she's going to go into what we call the table close, okay?
All right. Okay, guys. So when I'm at the table, everybody's tried their last product. I'm just kind of like, oh, is everybody having fun? How's your skin feeling? That looks great. I love that shade on you. Or I kind of just pop in a few things. And then I say, okay, guys, so I actually have some really great specials for you this evening. We have a beautiful menu that I'm going to share with you guys. But before I do that, I actually have a free gift with a couple of my sets on the menu. So let me show you what the free gift is, and let me kind of just talk to you guys about it a little bit. So this is our roll-up bag. This is a travel roll-up bag. However, I almost hate to say travel because it limits it to thinking that you can only use it when you travel, and that is not true. I actually use this year-round. I have it hanging on my towel rod in my bathroom, and I keep all of my products in here that I use nice and neat. I pull them out, I use them, I put it back. So it leaves my counter space clean and clear, and I'm super organized, and I just leave this hanging year round. Now, it's the little things that I love about this roll-up bag is that this right here is not a stiff hook. So some roll-up bags that you see, you can only hang either on a hook or you can only hang it a certain way. This one you could do on a doorknob, you could do it on a closet door, you could do it on your shower, you could do it on a towel rod. I mean, you literally can hang this anywhere because it is that versatile like that. So I love that feature, and it's those little things that stick out to me. Another thing I love is that the bag is clear. So I can see exactly what I'm grabbing and pulling out without having to like dump it on my bed like we do with our purse sometimes, just to find that one product or just to find whatever, a hair tie. We can't see anything. So this is really cool that it's clear like this. And another great thing about this bag, you guys, is this is a patented design. And what that means is that Mary Kay owns the patent to this particular roll-up bag. So you will not find this type of bag anywhere. So let me show you a cool feature about it. These actually come off. Okay, I know, isn't that crazy? So you guys just went like, so I love that sound. So I'm going to have you do it again. These pockets all come off. Yes, louder. I know, it's crazy, right? I sit there and I do the same thing where I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay. Not only is that really cool, but how many of you guys, when you do travel, tend to overpack? I overpack. Most of the time, I don't know how to pack. I don't know if there's going to be a tornado, a winter storm, if I need a tank top because it's really hot, or a blizzard's going to come and I need a sweatshirt, or what if I get cold and I need fuzzy socks, but then what if I don't and I need sandals? But then I might need boots because we might go hiking. So I tend to pack a whole ton of stuff. Well, then I run out of room. So what I do is I pull all of these off. I stick these in the little nicks and crannies of like between my pants, my jeans, my boots. And when I lay this flat in my suitcase, but then when I get back to the hotel room, I just plop everything nice and neat on here. And I find a spot in the hotel room to hang, and all of my stuff is there. And another cool thing about this is if you go on a weekend trip or a girls trip, or you're just going to go maybe spend the weekend, you know, at your friends or something, you already use this product. And so what's really great is you may just need to add in like your toothbrush and maybe a razor, but you're done. And then all you have to do is just roll up your bag and you're off to your weekend trip with the girls at a winery, and you can easily take it with you. So there's so many great things to this. And so I love to talk about all the features, plus the really cute design, easy to clean. And so I love that about this. And so this is actually a free gift with 2 of my sets. Okay, so let's pass these around. I'm going to give each and every one of you guys our menu, and I'm going to go over it with you. So I'm just going to pass this to everybody. Okay, great. And I'm going to go through this with you guys. Okay, so if we take a look at box number 1, box number 1 is going to be your miracle set. In this particular set, you're going to get your cleanser, your day cream, your night cream, and your eye cream. Okay, that is $120. You actually save $12 by purchasing this set. And if you guys want to add on the micellar water, that is $18. But that is everything that's right here. This is what you would do every single day. This is your skincare regimen. This is what you use morning and night. Okay, let's move on to box number 2. Box number 2, you're going to get your microdermabrasion set. You have your scrub, you have your pore minimizing serum. These 2 come together, and this is $58. And this is what you do once or twice a week. So it's not every day, but you kind of weave that through with your skincare routine. Okay, this was the one that we did the exfoliation. Okay, great. All right, box number 3. Okay, so I go on through each of those. I'm going to kind of pause and pretend like my party table is on pause and they're frozen. But I go through each and every box, you guys. I hold up each product because I'm reminding them. We're used to the product. We know what it looks like. We use it all the time. They don't. This might be their first encounter with it. And so I am repeating what I just did in my skincare class, but I am showing them and holding it up for them to see exactly what they're getting again. Okay. So I don't just say set number 1 is your miracle set for $120. Set number 2 is your microdermabrasion for $58. Set number 3, I don't do that. I am holding it up so they clearly know what comes in it. They can remember what it is. Okay. Okay, so I go through each and every single box doing that. Now I'm back at my table. I'm going to unpause them and they're back alive. All right, guys. So we just went through all the sets. Now I am going to go through what my specials are. So you remember we talked about this fun, cute, like probably going to be your best friend forever free gift. Okay, this is how you guys can get the free gift. So we have our Queen collection where it comes with your skincare, and then you get to choose 4 additional boxes. Okay, with that, you get your free bag, you get your skincare, and then you choose 4 additional boxes. So for example, you could say like, great, man, I really love the way my skin feels with the microdermabrasion. I love that. And it also helps to shrink down my pores and tighten them. So I'm going to get box number 2. I love the way this foundation looks on me. I can never get the right shade. So I love box number 3. My hands, my lips feel amazing. So you see what I'm doing? I'm reminding them what they loved about the product, right? And I'm building their roll-up bag. And they're just like, oh yeah, I remember the hands. Okay, great. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's quite a bit of stuff. And they're thinking that like, oh my gosh, I get all of that. And I tell them, this package is $329 plus tax. And you can also break it up into 2 payments. So you could do half today and then half in a couple of weeks. Isn't that awesome? And you get to go home with your products today. That is if you have product on hand. Okay. Note to self. Then I say, okay. And then the second special I have is our Princess collection. You still get your skincare. You still get the free bag, but instead of choosing 4 boxes, you're going to now choose 2. So at that point, I would say pick your most favorite thing. If you loved the way your skin feels after the microdermabrasion, if you loved the way your foundation looked, you could then pick box number 2 and 3, and you still get your skincare with that. So you are actually getting 3. And that is going to be $229 plus tax. You can break that up into 2 payments, half today, half in a couple of weeks, and still go home with your products and start using them tonight, which is really fun. Okay, and so I go through that. So I'm pausing my skincare class right now. They're sitting there and they're frozen. I go through that. And another pointer is you'll notice that I don't say that set is $120. I also don't say you get the Queen Collection for $329. Okay, so when you think about it, us as women or even men, anytime you say 100, sounds like so much, right? But when you say 329, doesn't that sound so much more doable than $329? Or you get all of that for just $329. Okay, so that's another thing that I would say is, you know, 120, 329, 229 instead of $120. $329, you know. So that is also another tip that I recommend on how you are actually saying the price as well. Okay. Going through each box, showing each product, letting them, reminding them, and then really romancing whatever your special is. Like ours is the free travel roll-up bag. Now, depending on what, you know, closing sheet your director has, go with what your director has, but also just knowing what your specials are and romance it, okay? And I romance the roll-up bag. I romance, for example, we have a queen and a princess set. I romance those and I remind them what they're getting, what's included, the 2 price, like the paying half now, half later, like all of that stuff. I'm also romancing that box as well. That's going to be the biggest bang for their buck. If you are liking, you know, this, that, this, and that, I mean, you might as well go with a queen or a princess. It just makes the most sense. Okay. So really helping them through that and not just handing them a menu or a closing sheet and saying, you know what, there's all your choices. I'll be right over there. You just raise your hand when you're ready. And when you are, bring me a donut from the kitchen and we'll go ahead and get you closed out. Okay. I love to go through everything and then I'll ask them if they had any questions. I even say, like, I know I go through this kind of quickly, so please, if you need me to repeat something or if you have any questions, but I will go ahead and start closing you guys out individually. And I know, Jessica, you had mentioned earlier that you needed to leave because you have to go pick up, you know, your kids from soccer practice. So Jessica, I'm going to go ahead and start with you if that's okay. And I'm going to take you on over here. So go ahead and bring your profile card, go ahead and bring your menu, your survey sheet, all of that, and then come follow me over here. And ladies, you guys feel free to have some snacks. You guys feel free to, you know, get more water, whatever you want, make yourself feel at home. And I will be with you guys shortly as soon as I finish up here with Jessica. But you guys all look fabulous. So Jessica, let's come on over here. Okay. And now, Cheryl, I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to you on what would actually happen now that I have everybody here off to the side or my individual closing.
Yes. So fabulous job, Tanya. You guys, the detail that she puts into it, yet being quick and concise, and the confidence and the passion she puts behind, you want this product. She's not pushing anybody. She's not being salesy. She's being excited. She's being confident, right? And she's giving the product the due diligence that it deserves in order to end up in somebody's bathroom. So that is the table close. So just in review of that, she romanced the roll-up bag before handing out her menu. Okay. Now, if that's, again, your director has a certain menu that your unit uses, we will be sending those to you for you to print. So yours might be different than what Tanya went over. But again, remember, the concept is the same. Okay. What we're trying to accomplish is the same. And then passing out the menu to everybody there. All right. Let me just make a note. We do not pass out lookbook catalogs at our facials or parties. Tanya, can you unmute and tell them why? Why do you choose a menu instead of handing them a catalog?
Because then you are just going to undo everything that you just did for the past hour with them. You were specific about products. You were specific about benefits. You were specific about your flow, and you had a reason why you did the face, opposed to, not putting on the makeup first and then having them wash the makeup off. Like, you had a structure to it. Then you go and you hand them a lookbook, and all of that just went out the door. So a menu keeps everything nice and focused in on what you showed. So you are having the opportunity to tell them once as they're putting the product on, twice as you go through the menu, 3 times when you're sitting down closing with them again. So you have 3 opportunities to go over the same products, because they will absorb it by the 3rd time. Okay. And so you're at a disadvantage if you do that work and then hand them something that completely just will combobulate everything that you just talked about. And so this keeps everybody just focused in on what they saw, what you showed, what you talked about. And it's easier for people to do that type of regimen daily than it is to try to figure out a whole brand new regimen, because now they didn't realize now they have like 17 different options. Okay.
Exactly. So as the saying goes, a confused mind does nothing. A
Correct.
catalog of too many choices is going to confuse everybody, and they will go home with nothing or a mascara because they do not know what to do. And so that is why we use a menu at our appointments, and do not recommend at all that a catalog even exists basically at your appointments. So perfect. Okay, so that's why we use that menu. Now I'll remove the spotlight. Thank you so much, Tanya, for all of that fabulousness. You guys can see why she sells so much skincare and has so many great customers, because she's passionate about it. She talks about it. She's got great specials. Everybody wants the roll-up bag, right? One thing that she mentioned was this survey sheet, right? When she says, Jessica, I know you've got soccer practice, whatever she said to Jessica, come on over here with me, bring all of your papers, bring your menu, bring this. I'm going to teach that. Repeat it in just a second, because that was perfect. She executed that perfectly. But before I get there, I want to add one option that I highly recommend for you at the table close that is going to make your individual consultation that I teach in just a minute super easy. Now, I have 2 forms of this. Reagan has a version and we have a version, but they do the exact same thing. So this is like a survey, an opinion poll. So like Reagan has one on front and back, 2 sheets, and we have like this long sheet. Now, for Tanya and my unit, if you are new, you have not seen this. If you are seasoned, you haven't seen this in a while. But this is probably one of the best tools to give you confidence to execute what I'm going to teach you next. Okay. I'm going to teach from the one that I have, but again, the one that Reagan has for her unit, understand when you read it, you're going to be able to do the exact same thing. So after, if I was Tanya continuing her skincare class, or if I had just shown the menu, went through all of the sets, talked about my specials, I would then say, I have one more thing for you to fill out. And I would pass out this, please tell me what you think, or please tell me more little survey sheet. Okay. I know you can't read it. And again, our questions are a little bit different, but the concept is exactly the same. The end result is exactly the same. So here's what the questions basically say. On a scale of 1 to 5, please rate how much softer and smoother your skin feels. Number 2, of all the sets, which ones would excite you the most and best fit your needs? Number 3, by the way, you guys don't have to write this down. We will send it to you. Number 3, when would you like to meet up for your follow-up and personalized makeup appointment? Number 4, would you like to include some friends at your follow-up and earn free or discounted products? Number 5, by the way, just in case you didn't know, there's like multiple choice, different things for them to answer. It's not a fill in the blank and they don't know what they're doing. Okay. Number 5, Mary Kay offers lots of choices. Our company and our culture are unique and special. Would you be willing to learn more about our company and how you can earn up to a 50% profit in your spare time with support and flexibility? Number 6, I value great customer service and would love to take care of all your future skincare and beauty needs. And then it asks a few questions about your customer database and how they like to receive their catalog. Number 7, you guys, number 7, super important. Number 7, who do you know that would love healthier looking skin or is overworked and under pampered that would enjoy a complimentary facial? She will receive a $10 gift certificate to use at her appointment. And it gives spaces for referrals. Reagan's gives an entire back for referrals. I'm going to revert back to generating leads. This is one of the main ways that I had a continuation of new names in my business is because I mastered this portion of the survey sheet, this portion of asking for referrals. So how do I do this with the people around the table? And then how do I translate that into closing them out individually? That's where I'm going to go next. So you can do one of two things with a survey like this. You can read the questions with them and have them answer them as you go along. Here's what I did for many, many years. When I handed it out, I said, now I want you to go ahead and answer 1 through 6 and stop before you get to number 7. And I'm going to explain that to you. So once you're done with 6, just put your pen down so that I know you're done. And then we're going to do something fun for number 7. I want to make sure that you understand what that one is all about. So as they're filling out the survey, I'm cleaning up the bowls, I'm cleaning up, the washcloths. I'm just kind of busying myself as they spend some time telling me more, giving me their opinion, right? Everybody gets to the point where they are done, their pen is down, and I say, okay, great. Number 7 is the highest compliment that you can pay me as a beauty consultant. If you had so much fun tonight and you have friends or family members that are overworked and underpampered, I would love to offer them a complimentary session exactly like you received tonight. She is going to be so taken care of. She is going to love you for thinking about her. And now I'm going to pause my skincare class because you can do several things here. You can offer a gift for the person who has the most referrals. That always worked well for me. Generationally, it really depends. The younger the generation, they will compete and you will get 47 referrals per person from younger generations. Older generations, you're going to get 3, 4, 5. You might get 1. They're a little choosier about it. So you can play a game. You can say, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. The person who has the most referrals is going to get this mini microdermabrasion set that you tried tonight. Somebody wants to go order this mini satin hands, whatever you want to give for that. And you create a little fun competition out of it. I think I'm just going to say that that is what I did for so long. Now, tip, don't actually time them and never cut them off. Don't say, okay, you're done. And then they didn't get all the referrals. Oh, you just lost out on some leads. So let them go, continue to busy yourself, continue to clean up, allow them to spend a few minutes filling out those referrals. If it's going on forever, say, you know what, if you're not done, just keep going. I'll make sure that I, do whatever. You're going to have to take it party by party. But this is golden. For one reason, if she's not going to be a hostess of your next party, you have a whole bunch of referrals. But again, I'm going to go into how you can use these to guide yourself through your individual consultation so that you don't get scared or forget what to ask or be frozen when you sit down with somebody across from you being like, I forgot everything that Cheryl and Tanya and Reagan taught me. What do I do? Right? Because remember, with practice comes all that confidence and that bravery because you've done it so many times, you know what to do. So I will get to that survey sheet in just a second. But what Tanya beautifully did is she let people know, hey, I'm going to meet with you over here. So Jessica, I know that you need to leave first. So would you please come with me and bring all your paperwork? So the first way of getting somebody away from the table, so your individual consultations need to be set up away from the party table, if possible in a separate room, like the couch in the living room. You got a chair and a couch and you're like, that's perfect. I'm going to sit in the chair. They're going to sit on this side of the couch. We're kind of facing each other and I've got a coffee table in front of me. I'm going to put some stuff on there. So in that room, you're going to need you're going to need like your business stuff. You're going to need your sales tickets, a pen, your money bag, your calendar to book their follow-ups. You are going to need, if you use the ProPay swipers or, chip readers or anything like that is where you're going to take payments, close out your sales, book your parties. So you want to set up your individual consultation area at the same time you're setting up your party table, right? It's like I've set up my party table. Now I've gone into the living room and I've got everything there. And last tip, and you'll see this in my skincare class outline that was one of your resources from last week. I find that it makes everybody feel very comfortable that if you tell them at the beginning what to expect for the whole evening, that they already know that they're going to sit down with you and you're going to answer their questions and see if there's anything that they want, that you're going to, we're meeting in the living room. I'll answer all your questions one-on-one. So if you let them know way ahead of time, you won't have that awkwardness with anybody that they're like, where are we going? What are we doing? Why are we going into the other room? If you've ever felt that or felt hesitant of it. Now, if you forget to tell them at the beginning, you just keep rolling with it and you grab somebody. Tanya made a perfect faux pas in her presentation where she said, you don't just say, hey, here are your choices. I'll be over here. Let me know when you're done and come see me, right? Don't remove yourself from the party table and go sit in the individual consultation room and wait for the first person who's ready for you. We are in control. We are the beauty consultant. So how do you move from the table close to the individual consultation is number one, exactly like Tanya did. Who needs to leave first? Does anybody need to get going? If so, okay, great. Jessica, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you bring all your paperwork? We'll get you all ready to go. And you start with that person. If everybody is like, some girls get together, they're there, they're having dinner afterwards. Nobody wants to leave. Nobody wants to go home to their kids. Like they don't want to go anywhere. They're in it for the long run. So they're like, no, we're good. Guess what? Just grab your favorite person that you connected with and say, you know what, Kathy, I'm going to start with you. Okay, is that okay? Why don't you grab all of your paperwork and follow me into the living room and we'll get you all set. That is how you move people from the table to the other room. Okay. All right. So there are a few things that are really important to accomplish in this individual consultation. The first thing is to sell our product and to hopefully sell the sets that you showed on the menu. That's why we put product into sets, because at the very least, we want to build skincare customers. And the way we build skincare customers is by the way that we've designed our menu, the way we talk about it, the way we romance it. Now, by all means, if they choose other sets or they don't become a skincare customer right then, I'm not saying that that's not a great thing. I'm just saying we want to sell sets because we want to build a solid foundation of skincare customers. That is going to be your most loyal customer base are those that are using our skincare. That's why we have these facials and these parties so they can try it, they can fall in love with it, they can start using it. It's also why we don't use the catalogs, right? So number one, sell the product. Number two is to schedule follow-up appointments and future parties. And number three is to offer women the opportunity. Those are the three things we want to accomplish each time that we sit down with somebody, okay? And what you will find through the process of practicing with many different ages, types, personalities, backgrounds, all kinds of different women, is that sometimes the dialogue and the conversations can be just a little bit different with everybody you sit down with. Because there's so many different scenarios of what they'd like to purchase, if they'd like to have a party, if they want more information, you know what I mean? So I could spend 2 hours diving into, well, if she says this, you say this. If she says this, you say this. If she says this, you say this. You get what I'm saying, right? So what I'm going to talk about is really just what you want to accomplish. And a lot of different things are going to happen. And that's where I really hope that you practice doing this. So let me just look at my notes here. Before I get into how your survey can help you through this, I'm going to give you the secret word. Who's ready for the secret word? The secret word of the week. Secret word of the week is full circle. Okay, that's 2 words. Secret words, full circle. Okay. We talk about our business full circle, but when you master this individual consultation, you master full circle. Okay, you master the beginning of full circle. Selling the product, having follow-up appointments and future parties, and offering the opportunity. Like that's what we do as beauty consultants. Okay. So in my super skilled way of being a 15-year seasoned veteran of doing parties, what would me just sitting down with somebody after a party sound like if I wasn't using the survey? Okay. I'm going to sit down with Joyce and I'm going to say, and she's got all her paperwork, right? So she's brought all this stuff over with me. She's got her menu. She's got her hostess rewards that I talked about during the party. She's got her filled out survey and she's got her profile card that she filled out. That's basically her paperwork, right? You might have a few other things. So Joyce comes over with all her paperwork and she sits down with me. Let's just say I don't have this because there's a point of me doing this to show you the difference of what this can do for your confidence level. So Joyce is going to sit down and I'm going to say, Joyce, did you have fun? And I'm going to smile and nod. What happens when you smile and nod? Oh, Joyce is smiling and nodding, right? Okay, great. And Joyce, how does your skin feel? Feel good? You smile and nod, okay? Those are just the opening questions. And then you say, until your follow-up appointment, Joyce, did I answer all of your questions tonight? Okay, perfect. The next question is where we get into the selling part, okay? I'm gonna put this right in front of Joyce again. Sorry, I've got my papers on my keyboard. I told you guys I wouldn't do that. I'm gonna put it right in front of Joyce and I'm gonna say, Joyce, of all the sets I showed you, which ones would you most like to take home with you tonight? She wants the queen. I saw her lips. She wants the queen, okay? Notice that I stopped talking and I let Joyce do the talking. One tip during this sales part of the individual close is do not interrupt her. Do not talk her right into something and right out of it and just start rambling. Of all the sets I showed you, what would you most want to take home with you tonight? Let her shop, let her think. If she has a question for you, answer it. If she needs a recommendation, answer it. But don't fumble your words to where you talk her out of the sale, okay? It's the art of knowing when to stop talking. Joyce wants the queen. Let's just say Joyce just wanted the, box number 1. You know what? I love the way my skin feels and I would love the Miracle Set 3D. I think I'll start there. Okay, great. Perfect. And you were normal to dry, right? Okay, awesome. Okay. What else would you like tonight? I know you love that eye makeup remover, huh? You want to add that on? Okay, great. Okay, what else? That's it? Okay, wonderful. Let me get your total. You continue to say anything else, anything else, anything else, or maybe point out the things that she loved during the party because you took notice of that. I know you loved that foundation primer. You know that comes in the foundation bundle, blah, blah, blah. There's an art of upselling and continuing to allow her to shop until she says, no, that's good. You take her payment, you close out the sale right then and there, okay? Step number 1 of the point of our individual consultation is now complete. We've sold her a product. Step number 2, okay? And she's purchased product. So I say, Joyce, now it's time to schedule that follow-up appointment, that personalized makeover that I talked about. I cannot wait to see you in a few weeks. Number 1, I want to make sure that that skincare is giving you all of the benefits and the results that you want, that it's the right formula for your skin. I want to make sure everything's working for you. So let's set that up. What works best for you? An evening after work or the weekend? And I'm setting her follow-up, okay? Number 1, we want to have those follow-up appointments. We want to give them the opportunity to try the makeup looks. We want to give that 2-week customer service of that check-in, the checkup from the neck up, so to say. And that's how we ask that. So we schedule her for that. The next question I'm going to ask Joyce is, so Joyce, remember that I went over my hostess rewards during the party and I talked about them. So tell me, Joyce, and I'm going to put this right in front of her. Is this something you'd like to take advantage of with some of your friends? I think it would be really fun. And I let her answer. You guys, I used to so overcomplicate asking for future hostesses. Like I got scared. I got nervous. Like I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. If you have your hostess program at the table, if you go over it during the party, and then you simply sit down and say, Joyce, I went over these hostess perks. Is this something you'd like to take advantage of? And you stop talking, she's going to give you the answer. I was amazed at how many people were like, yeah, that would be absolutely fun. I think my mom and my sister, and it's not complicated. It's this simple question. And so now guess what I did? I booked a future party. Woo! Yay, Joyce is my future hostess. Now this is where it can get a little complicated. I'm trying not to be complicated tonight because she just booked a color follow-up with me, right? And I scheduled that. But now she wants to have a party. So you get to do your follow-ups and your parties the way that you want to. If you want to be smart with your time, maybe ask her, hey, do you just want your friends to come over after you've done your personal makeover? You want to just do it on the same day? Or you can book her for a different party day. Like whatever works for you, whatever works for her. There's lots of different ways that we can do that. But we want to be able to have that makeover appointment with her, but we want her to be a hostess, right? And we want her friends to try the skincare like she just did, right? And so however you feel that's going to work for you. And if you have questions or need coaching on that specifically, please reach out to your director. As you start to practice this and you're not really sure what might be best for you based on your schedule, or whatever, that is a coaching moment with your director, okay? Because there's a lot of different ways that can go. So I've scheduled a follow-up appointment. She's picked her party date, all of that. Last thing that I want to ask Joyce about. So that was point number 2, right? Point number 3 is offering the opportunity. With practice, you guys are going to find really good words for yourself on how to do this. There is not one perfect way to do it. Reagan's probably going to say something different than I say, than Tanya says. The funny thing is, all these people will sign up at Tanya's facials and I'm like, well, what are you saying? Well, what are you asking? You know what? So if somebody's being really successful at something, maybe ask them what they're saying. And so this part takes practice, but this is that layer of team building that we don't want to let slip through the cracks. But this is also something that, just like asking if she wants to take advantage of the hostess rewards, it is a very simple question. So this, from my experience and from what Tanya has taught me, and remember, Tanya has completed the National Court of Sharing. Remember when she was number 14 in the entire Ruby seminar in the Court of Sharing? It's wild. This girl knows what she's doing. If you need some tips on how to be confident and bold in this part of your facial or party, Tanya is the one to talk to. And she has coached me through this process of just ask. You don't know unless you ask. So what does that sound like? Here's where you can be bold. You say, okay, Joyce, last thing. I talked a little bit about our incredible company, why I love what I do. I hope you can see just how much fun all of this is. Would you ever consider doing what I do? Okay. Where you go from there is going to be based on a whole bunch of different things that she says. Well, I never really thought of it. Or that really does look fun. Yeah, I think I would be. Or she's going to say maybe, and I have some questions. I don't know. You've got to kind of take it with confidence and take it to where you want to go. Or if she's going to say, I don't know, or no, then you can say something like, I completely understand. It's hard to think about something that you don't know a whole lot about. So if you would just do me a huge favor, I would love to teach you about what I do, even if it's something you're not interested in. Maybe it would benefit somebody you would know. Would you be willing to have coffee with me? I'll buy your coffee, or I'll give you a free gift, or whatever you want to give her just for spending 30 minutes with me. Would that be okay? And then go with your answer. So we're being understanding, but we're being confident and we're being bold in that process without being pushy. That's going to come with your personality, okay? And so again, if you need coaching through that process, ask your director, because there's a lot of different things that can happen and a lot of, different ways that you can kind of spin that. But the point is ask her if she's interested. Let her know there's an opportunity. Let her know you're passionate about sharing it. And that if nothing else, she learns and is educated. And it might benefit someone she knows. That's the basis of that portion of it, okay? Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, Cheryl, you've got all that memorized, you know, all the questions, they all go in order. Like, I can't do it. Well, you know what? I couldn't either in the beginning. I've done it for 15 years and I just know how it flows. Let me show you. This little survey right here accomplishes the same thing and she's already answered your questions. And so when she sits down with her paperwork, I'm going to grab her survey and I'm going to grab the menu and I'm going to say, thank you so much for coming tonight, Joyce. You know, the first question, remember, was on a scale of 1 to 10. How does your skin feel? You know, I see your skin feels great, you know, and you're going through this. Okay, number 2 is where you sell stuff. Because Joyce said, of all the sets, which one would excite you the most and best fit your needs? And she checked the Queen collection, right? Or she checked the Miracle Set 3D, or she put some other sets on here. Let's just say she put the Queen. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, Joyce, on number 2, I see that of all the sets that I showed you tonight, that you were most interested in the Queen collection. Is that what you would like to start with tonight? She'd be like, yes, that sounds great. Okay, perfect. What sets would you like included? You know, is there anything that's not in those sets that you want to add on? I'm going to ask all those questions. I'm going to total up her order. I'm going to take her payment. Or she's going to say, oh gosh, no, I would love to have that, but you know, I probably need to start a little bit smaller. Okay, great. What sets would excite you the most? Let's talk about this. So you're using number 2 as, I see you checked this. Is that what you want to start with? Okay. Number 3. Okay, perfect. I see that for your personalized makeup and follow-up appointment that your availability is during the week in the evening. So let's go ahead and set that up. You know, I like to do that in about 2 weeks. So would you prefer Tuesday, the 23rd or Thursday, the 25th? Perfect. And would you like to include some friends in that so you can earn, you know, some of the hostess perks and rewards? I see that you put, yeah, you know, I shouldn't have asked her that because she put yes or no, right? Here's what I would say. Even if she puts no, be like, Joyce, I see that you put no, that you didn't want to earn any free or discounted products. One thing that you could do is you could invite a few friends to that personalized makeover session and you still get the hostess rewards. Is that something that you'd want to do? Almost like don't really like taking no for an answer, but still offering. And then if she's like, no, that's okay, you move on. Okay. Number 5 is the question about the opportunity. So you can use that to talk about what I said, but it gives you like the confidence to be like, I see that you're open for having coffee with me and a free gift just for learning a little bit more about what I do. And if you're bold in that moment, which I want you to be, you can say, you know, is this something that you would consider for yourself? Really, and have that conversation with her. You don't always have to take somebody out for coffee at a later date to sign them up on your team. As Tanya proved time and time and time again, there are women that are willing to sign up there with you. And so this gives you a guideline and the confidence to sit down and basically read her answers with her off the survey and accomplish everything that I just did off the top of my head because I haven't memorized. So that's why I like this. Now, this at the bottom, you can do a couple of things with this, and then I will look at my notes and make sure that I'm kind of done talking. But this referral part. So let's just say that Joyce had like, you know, six names down, right? One of the things that I might do and I might notice is that, you know, I'm like, hey, Joyce, I see that you've got 6 of your friends and family down here. Would you like, you know, I can call them and they can have their own appointment with me. They'll get a $10 gift certificate. I'm going to take excellent care of them. It will be amazing. But you know what? If you want to take advantage of these hostess perks and you want to invite a few people off of this list to join you, you're only going to reap the benefits from that. So which would you prefer? That I contact them individually, or do you want to get them together? These are just tips and tricks to for future bookings, future parties. And if she's like, no, I'm not the party type, you've got referrals. If she's like, yeah, I think that would be fun, then you just booked a party. Even if she put no up here, you booked the party. You know what I mean? And so again, same thing with Reagan's. You're just walking through her answers and walking her through them. So Tanya, while I'm going to add you to the spotlight because I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I didn't forget anything, but I would love if you would add in anything that I forgot or clear up any confusion, because as I told Tanya earlier, I said asking the most detailed director in the room to go over the most detailed portion of your party is probably not the best thing. I don't want to confuse anybody, but hopefully I gave you kind of that overall view of what is supposed to happen and how you can use the tools to get to the end result. But Tanya, if you have anything to add, while I just make sure I've got maybe a couple other points.
Yeah, no, I think that was great because you, in such a short amount of time, you really covered those. And so you did it. I mean, I think you did it perfectly to where it was not, you know, I don't know, you guys can agree or nod your heads or something, but it didn't feel overwhelming. It just felt, and I think the great part about it is you already have the tools in front of you. You're basically just repeating what she already filled out and you have it. So, oh, I see that you marked. Oh, I saw that you marked this. Okay, great. I see that you marked this. So really, she's kind of all that, I guess, work is already done.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think the survey is perfect to do that. And you know, you guys, it may not always flow the way you want to. There's times, honestly, because I've been using that survey, there's times that I end up taking their order before they fill out the survey. And it's okay, the sky didn't fall. Like I'm sitting there and I'm talking to them and I'm taking their order and I'm like, okay, great. While I go get your stuff packed up and grab your things and get it ready for you, can you do me a huge favor and fill this out for me? Step 1 through 5 is just going to ask you some general questions on how I can get you plugged in and blah, blah, blah. And then when you get to 7, it's going to ask you. And so you guys, if there's anyone you feel that would enjoy or love having an appointment with me, I would love to treat them and they get X, Y, and Z and you get X, Y, and Z. So just put their contact information. I'll reach out to them for that. So I'm going to let you guys start filling this out and I'm going to head on over there and I'm going to start getting your orders ready for you. And so there's times that's exactly how it happens. And so, and everything was fine, you know? So if no matter which way you do it, as long as you're getting that end result of what you're wanting, it's going to be okay. Don't worry if you do the menu and you get flustered and you're just like, okay, Tina, you ready? Okay, let's go, Tina. And then you're like, dang it, I forgot about the survey sheet. You know what I mean? Because guess what? You can go back and say, great, I'm so excited. I have everybody's order, but now can you guys do me a huge favor and fill out this form for me? And blah, blah, blah. Like either way, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be the end of the world. It really is not. Yeah, because you're still going to get what you need. It may just be a little bit out of order, you
Yes.
know. And I'll give you guys a little pointer that I don't do the satin lips or satin hands until after the skincare, before the foundation. And so again, it's, you know, there's some that do it at the very beginning, or they'll have their hostess do that. And, you know, and I do mine right smack in the middle before we even go into color. So it breaks up skincare portion. And then I break it up with a little treatment here, and then we go into color. So either way, that just goes to prove that no matter how you're doing it, if that flow works for you and you're super pumped about it, they are not going to know the difference. They are not going to be like, oh my gosh, she totally did it out of order. They're not. And at that point, they're just going to be like, oh, okay, great. We're doing hands. We're doing lips, you know? And so I just hope that gives you guys confidence that it does not have to be a cookie cutter skincare class, but
Absolutely.
I still accomplish everything that we're talking about tonight. I still accomplish that. And do I forget sometimes I don't book their party right there on the spot? Do I kind of get caught up and I'm trying to get people closed out? And do I not sometimes book the follow-up right then and there and book the thing? Oh, sometimes I don't, but I have that fun little survey where I can circle back around and say, hey, I know we got kind of busy and I know you had to leave and I didn't get a chance to do this, but just so you know, I sent your email with the order of application. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And I have your birthday, so I'm going to get you all set up for that. And I show that you wanted a weekday for your color follow-up. So how about Tuesday at blah, blah, blah? Okay, perfect. And I also show you want to get together with some girlfriends. Do you want to do that on a Saturday? So that's more availability for people to show up. Okay, great. My next Saturday is the 18th, blah, blah, blah. Okay, awesome. I'm so excited. Blah, blah, blah. And then you just go on. And the sky didn't fall. And you still got your parties booked. It may have just not been perfectly executed the way you wanted it to go, but you still can circle back around and do that. So
And
That's it.
that, Tanya, thank you for saying that, because that is probably the best point. And through years of experience of us doing many parties, is the absolute real Mary Kay world reality. More times than not, do I have to circle back around with people for some of these points because it just didn't happen in the time frame or whatever happened. And it didn't mean that the party was not successful. So if all you get is like the orders and closing the orders and it's a little bit chaotic and you just didn't get to the rest of it, know to circle back around. Know that you can still accomplish things by that good follow-up, those conversations later. And like Tanya said, you've got all the info. So when in doubt, when it all falls apart, which it didn't fall apart, right? They didn't know you were supposed to ask about the follow-up appointment, the hostess perks. Like they didn't know that you were going to ask 2 days later instead. It's okay. So give yourself grace to understand, again, from the beginning to the end of the party, the perfect Mary Kay party. I'm going to hit all these points. It's going to flow this way. Nobody's going to walk out the door without me sitting down with them. Everybody's going to buy everything. Everyone's going to book a party. You guys, you get into the real Mary Kay world and there's dogs and there's kids and there's chaos and you lose people and you feel rushed and all of this stuff, and you stay calm and collected and you're able to navigate through all of those things that happen in the real world Mary Kay, and you accomplish what you can at the party in the flow that you can, in the way that you can, and you forgot this and this, and that's okay. They didn't even know you were supposed to say that. No worries. You forgot your satin lips at home. They didn't even know they were supposed to try it. It's okay. You sit down with somebody, she at least buys the miracle set, but she's like, hey, I got to run. My husband just texted me. She walks out the door. You're like, I'll deliver that later. And then 3 days later, you have to ask her all the other questions. Like, that is the reality of what we do, but we still keep it in our control, that we know that how can I still take these women and have a full circle experience so that eventually they do have their follow-up appointment and they do know that I can offer them those hostess benefits, and they do know there's an opportunity. I will tell you that more times than not, I'm on the follow-up train of the opportunity part of it when it comes to a party of 6 women. I just can't get it together enough to get through all of that, and that is okay. So thank you for bringing that up, Tanya. I think that's such a good point, that we understand the concept, but we also understand that we got to let things go sometimes and kind of get to them later. So we have a goal, and then we have what happens in reality. So 2 quick points before we stop the recording. And because I know that Reagan said that sometimes her consultants you want to know, like, what do you do as far as filling orders go? And I'm just going to talk about this very briefly. So for those of us that have product on hand, the best thing to do is have your product at the party available, because everybody wants to go home with their product. You sell more product when they go home with it. So it benefits you to have a packing system of your inventory, at least what you showed at the parties, with you so that your guests can take it home with you. One of the resources that we will send you is Reagan has a way that you can pre-pack roll-up bags to make it easy. That works with her menu really easily, not as well with our menu, but however you want to pack your inventory to be able to have stuff to sell is important. But what do you do at the actual party? There's a couple of different things. If you want to bring it in from your car and have it like at your individual consultation area right next to you, you can just go over here and you can pull the products and you can hand it to her, and you can fill orders very quickly right here as you go along. That's one way you can do it. I don't do that very often, but I have done it before. Option number 2, I leave all my product in the car. Not if it's 100 degrees on a summer day, right? Be smart, right? You're going to have to bring it inside if you're working on an extremely hot day. But it's in the car. And as I take people's order, I say, you know what, Joyce, I'm going to fill all of the orders once I am done with everybody. Are you okay to hang out for a few minutes and I'll get your order when I'm done? Or do you need to go and I'll get it for you right now? And she's like, no, that's great. I'll just hang out. I'm going to be here. No worries. So 9 times out of 10, I'm filling everybody's order at the end of the party. I've got all my sales tickets. I take one trip out to my car. I've got my cell phone flashlight. I can't see anything because it's dark. I know where my stuff is. I'm organized and I'm like I'm filling all the stuff. And I come back in and I'm like, this one's for you, Kathy. This one's for you, Anita. And I'm handing out their orders and they're so excited, all of that. That's probably the easiest way to do it. But you will have every once in a while, Jessica, who has to go to soccer practice, that's like, I want this, but I got to duck out. And you're like, you know what? Let me just run out to my car real fast and get you your miracle set and your microderm set. And just tell the other ladies I'll be right back. Okay, those are the different ways that you can fill product orders very easily and simply and in different scenarios. You choose what works best for you and be flexible in that as well. The last point I want to make that I didn't go over was when Joyce was done with her individual consultation with me, and I have basically accomplished everything that I want to, here's what I'm going to say to Joyce. Okay, Joyce, thank you so much. I'll send you back into the kitchen. Would you please send Kathy in with all her paperwork? Okay, thank you so much, Joyce. Okay, so I have now sent the person that I finished with to tell the next person to come. That is the same skill as pulling the first person away. Would you tell Jessica to come in? Kathy, would you, thank you so much. Would you tell Jessica to bring all her paperwork in? And then Jessica's next. You don't want to be there, be like, who's next? Okay, I'm ready. Anybody, and then half of them walk out there and they don't know what's going on. You take that control. So just a few tips on that. So we're going to send you all of the resources that you need. Your specific menus and surveys will come from your director. And then your homework. Okay. So your homework, and it's in your workbook, but your homework is to print your closing sheets or your menus, whatever you want to call them, and print your survey sheets to have those ready. Okay. You are also going to continue with your leads and your booking bubble sheet. Okay. Again, that's in your workbook, but that, you've got some simple things to get together. And here's one little last thing that I want to show you. And then I promise I'll let you guys go, because we're talking about all of the paperwork of the party. Reagan talked about packing the starter kit, packing all the products, but you're like, I've got surveys, I've got menus, I've got Hostess Pro, like, what do I do with all this paper? I'm just going to tell you that, okay, so Tanya and I both have these basically accordion folders, okay? And they're inexpensive at the office stores, but they organize all the papers that you need for your party. This is one of the best things that I've done. So this has the menus, the surveys, the order forms, the profile cards. This is the best system that you can get, and have it pre-packed just like your party bag with everything that you need. So you always have your paperwork. Exactly. So that's just a tip on all of this paperwork that your customers are bringing over. How do you organize that as the consultant? That's what I would recommend. So anything that I missed, Tanya, before we stop this
No, you
recording?
did fabulous. And don't go anywhere because we got some recognition.
Yes. Yes. So if you have
Don't you
watched the
go
recording, we
anywhere.
hope this was helpful. And this is a really part of our business that requires that practice a lot. And anytime you need coaching on anything, I'm not getting the results that I want, your director will help you walk through those steps. Okay. And we highly recommend you watching her work, and then you go do one, and then watch her work, and then you go do one of your own, and then watch her work. It really does help that way. So I'm going to stop the recording.